Imagine a turtle so massive, it dwarfed anything we know today. A reptile so large, its body stretched longer than most family cars, with flippers that could sweep through the ocean like giant oars. This was Archelon, the largest turtle to ever live. It glided through ancient seas with grace, a silent giant that witnessed one of Earth's most dramatic ages. Archelon lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 80 million years ago. This was a world very different from ours. Dinosaurs still ruled the land, some growing to terrifying sizes. In the skies, giant flying reptiles called pterosaurs drifted on warm air currents. And in the oceans, life teemed in incredible diversity. Sharks, ammonites, enormous fish, and some of the most fearsome marine reptiles ever to exist. In this world of titans, Archelon was something unique, a gentle but colossal turtle, built not for battle, but for endurance. How big was Archelon? Fossil evidence tells us it could reach up to 15 feet from head to tail, and weigh as much as 4,500 pounds. That's heavier than most cars. Its skull alone could stretch over 2 feet in length. Unlike modern turtles with hard dome-shaped shells, Archelon had a softer, leathery shell supported by a strong internal framework of bones. This made it lighter and more flexible, an advantage when traveling great distances in open seas. Its flippers were enormous, giving it the power to glide effortlessly across long stretches of water. For comparison, today's largest sea turtle, the leatherback, can grow to about 7 feet long and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. Impressive, yes, but still only half the size of Archelon. Imagine standing next to a leatherback turtle at an aquarium. Now double it in length, double it in weight, and picture it swimming with a calm, ancient confidence. That was Archelon. The ocean it lived in was called the Western Interior Seaway, a vast body of water that once divided North America into 2 separate landmasses, stretching from the Arctic Ocean all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. It was hundreds of miles wide. These warm, shallow waters were full of marine life. Ammonites drifted through the currents, their coiled shells glinting in the sunlight. Giant fish patrolled the open water. Mosasaurs, massive predatory reptiles over 40 feet long, hunted with ferocity. Sharks, some larger than modern great whites, stalked silently. Among them all, Archelon swam with steady, unhurried strokes, a peaceful titan in a world of predators. What did Archelon eat? It wasn't a hunter of large prey. Instead, it specialized in softer foods, jellyfish, squid, and other soft-bodied creatures that floated through the currents. Its large, hooked beak gave it an advantage when crushing the shells of mollusks and crustaceans. Fossils show wear patterns on its jaws, suggesting it likely cracked open clams and other hard-shelled creatures on the seafloor. Archelon's diet was varied, but always focused on animals it could overpower without needing speed. Its sheer size allowed it to dominate feeding grounds without competition from smaller turtles. Despite its gentle nature, Archelon faced constant threats. Mosasaurs lurked in the same waters, their long jaws filled with sharp, conical teeth. Sharks circled, always looking for weakness. Even Archelon's enormous size couldn't guarantee safety. Fossils of its shells reveal bite marks, clear evidence of predator attacks. Some Archelons likely escaped such encounters, but others did not. The ocean, even for a giant, was dangerous. Archelon's lifestyle was slow and steady. Its leathery shell reduced weight, allowing it to travel long distances with less energy. Unlike many predators that relied on bursts of speed, Archelon was built for the long haul. It probably spent most of its life far from shore, riding currents across the seaway. When it needed to rest, it may have drifted just below the surface, letting the waves carry it. But like all sea turtles, Archelon needed land to reproduce. When the time came, these massive reptiles hauled their bulk onto sandy beaches. Imagine the incredible sight, a 15-foot turtle dragging itself out of the surf under the moonlight. With its huge flippers, it dug deep pits in the sand, depositing dozens of eggs. These eggs were then covered carefully, hidden from predators. But for the hatchlings, survival was a brutal lottery. Only a tiny fraction ever made it from the beach to the ocean. Birds, small dinosaurs, and reptiles hunted them as they scrambled toward the waves. Those that survived had the chance to grow, and if lucky, to one day become giants like their parents. Our knowledge of Archelon comes from fossils. The first discovery was made in South Dakota in the 1890s, in what was once part of the Western Interior Seaway. Since then, paleontologists have unearthed several skeletons, some in remarkably complete condition. These fossils show details of the skull, shell structure, and flippers, allowing scientists to reconstruct what this ancient turtle looked like. One specimen, known as Archelon ischiros, remains one of the most complete giant turtle skeletons ever found, giving us invaluable insight into its anatomy. Why did Archelon vanish? Around 66 million years ago, during the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs, Archelon disappeared as well. The asteroid impact that struck the Yucatan Peninsula caused catastrophic climate shifts. Dust and ash filled the atmosphere, blocking sunlight. Ocean ecosystems collapsed, wiping out food chains. But even before this event, Archelon was under pressure. As sea levels changed, the western interior seaway began to shrink. With less habitat and fewer nesting grounds, populations dwindled. By the end of the Cretaceous, Archelon was gone. Yet its legacy lives on in modern sea turtles. The leatherback turtle, with its soft shell and massive size, is the closest living relative in body design. While no living turtle reaches Archelon's size, the resemblance is striking. Archelon represents the pinnacle of turtle evolution, a reminder of how far nature can push the limits of size and adaptation. Picture the prehistoric seas one last time, giant ammonites drifting like alien spacecraft, mosasaurs lunging with explosive force, sharks circling endlessly, and among them, Archelon, the car-sized turtle gliding gracefully through the currents, a creature not built for ferocity, but for endurance. A gentle giant that lived in the shadow of dinosaurs and survived in a world of predators. The story of Archelon is a reminder that not all giants roared, hunted, or ruled with teeth and claws. Some giants simply endured, calmly, silently, leaving behind a legacy carved into stone. Subscribe for more prehistoric giants.